Speaker. And can I, first of all, commend my colleague Alex Easton for his opening remarks, and also the spirit of which this debate has continued, with some very, very powerful speakers coming forward to voice their opinion. And I value that. I really do value the parliamentary spirit of which this debate is taking place. And it's at times like this where you feel proud to be an MLA, because I believe that most of us, if not all of us, are wanting exactly the same thing. We may well have a different route of travel, but we all want exactly the same thing. Having said that, I think it was Lord Castlereagh who made the saying that he despised the parade of parliamentary spirit which leads to nothing. So it is on all of us to make sure that something happens here after this debate. So we can all argue and debate around the motion or the amendment, but I think we need to make sure that we come together and send a message out there to those victims and loved ones that we're with you, we hear you, and we want to try and make a difference to your life, because that would be a very powerful message to send to those loved ones. But when someone commits the heinous crime of murder, or unlawful killing, or is involved in sexual violence and abuse towards young people, it is a heinous crime, and in the act of murder, it may well be just a one-off action that commits murder, that brings misery onto loved ones forever and a day of their life. But there is a certain power with a perpetrator who commits murder. It's a power that they may well have inside them, that they may well, in some hideous way, enjoy. And if they do, the actual power over information becomes much more sinister and much more powerful. And I think it was Sinead Bradley who said earlier on that it is a prisoner's non-disclosure is a deliberate decision. It is a deliberate act. And that act heaps more power onto the perpetrator. But not only that, it impacts on the family every second of their lives. It rocks them to their core for every second of their lives. And some of these people are elderly, and they have to live with this and face this every waking second of their lives. How could any of us ever manage to even fathom what that means for loved ones facing this cruelty? For these loved ones, it is a sentence that they will never, ever overcome. They will never, ever get over. Yet the perpetrator will sit in there and decide a deliberate action not to disclose. And what would that disclosure bring? It won't bring their loved ones back, absolutely not. But it will allow the family to lay to rest the remains of their loved ones. But not only that, as I've already alluded to earlier, it may well help to piece together the final hours and minutes of their loved ones. Horrendous as that may seem, they will be able to piece together that story, and maybe even some of the experiences of their loved one as they went through their final hours. Now, that's a horrendous thought and story, but that would bring so much closure to the loved ones of the murdered. And I can't for the life of me understand why it isn't a natural place to place on a duty onto the parole board to take this into statute, to take this into place. It isn't good enough to place this in a sentencing review. It's much more than that. It has to be much more than that. It is the essence of power that a perpetrator wields on a family, not just their murdered victim, but their murdered victim's family. We cannot abide by that. This House should not abide by that. This House can do something about it. this Minister of Justice can do something about it. And
Members,
I beg
time's up.
and I plead that that would be the case.
Members, time's up.
And that we would move on and produce something here for the loved ones here today. Thank you.